What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today is day 26 of the 30 days of wholesaling houses. Guys, and we are 5 days away from completing 30 straight videos showing you step by step how to wholesale, how to flip houses in your city. So I really hope that you guys are enjoying this free training. For those that have no idea what I'm talking about, I decided for the month of May to do step by step video training showing you how to flip houses in your city. So do yourself a huge favor and start in day one of our 30 days of wholesaling houses. And for those that have no idea who I am, my name is Saenz. I'm a 23-year-old real estate entrepreneur here in Phoenix, sunny Arizona. I started wholesaling houses at the age of 18, and over the last few years, I've wholesaled and flipped a few hundred homes, and I want to show you exactly how I did it for free. So without further ado, let's dive into day 26. Let's go. Guys, here we go. Day 26 is here. We are almost done with 30 straight videos. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips when selling your wholesale deal. So let's get to it. Tip number 1, first thing I want to discuss is relationships over profits. The number one issue that I see over and over again, especially new guys that come into the business, is that they feel like it is a short game, that, you know, they want to get instant cash. They want to get their first check. They just want to get paid and that's it. Guys, you have to position yourself for long-term success, and that's going to equate to building relationships today that you're going to have a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And honestly, one of the biggest assets that I have in my real estate business is relationships. I have relationships with not only cash buyers, but lenders and other real estate professionals that allow me to have a sustainable business because of relationships. I know that if nobody is buying deals, I can call on, you know, the 5 to 10 VIP buyers that we have, and they're gonna, you know, buy that deal off us for obviously a good price. But relationships are just so key. So I definitely don't want any of you to think of it as a short-term game. One thing I want to mention is you have to make it a win-win. You know, if you have a wholesale deal, you don't want to squeeze all the juice out. So if you have a wholesale deal, you don't want to squeeze all the juice out. You want to make sure there's enough meat on the bone for not only you to eat, but the buyer to eat, because a cash buyer is taking on all that risk. They're putting up their capital, their time. You know, they may have a family too, so they gotta bring food to the table. So you want to make sure that every deal that you sell is a win-win. Never just sell a deal to screw somebody over based on, you know, your actions. I've had deals where I've owned. About 2 years ago, I bought one bad fix and flip. At the time, it looked like good numbers. I got into the property, I saw it sight unseen, complete garbage, and I actually lost $5,000 to $7,000 selling it to the investor. But I wanted to do that so then he had enough room on the deal to make money, and he flipped it. But you know, he didn't make a huge chunk of money, but at the same time, it was a profitable deal and we kept it going. So make sure that, you know, you leave enough meat on the bone for the buyer. It's a full circle business. Make sure that you don't burn any relationship because of money. Make sure you are ethical, and remember, relationships over profits. You know, sometimes the highest offer is not the best offer. You know, if I've sold deals to buyers where, you know, I get paid $5,000 less on an assignment, but that buyer opened their business up to me, and now I'm seeing their multi-million operation because of relationships. Because hey, I brought value to you. I want to make something clear. You're not going to get rich on one deal. So you want to be doing active deals consistently. You can get rich off a lot of deals, but off one deal, you're not ever going to get rich. So you want to make sure that every deal, it's a win-win. You know, you're giving them value, and over time, because of bilateral relationships, you're going to have cash buyers that truly just open doors up for you. I've had cash buyers introduce me to more cash buyers, introduce me to their hard money lenders, their private money guys, and introduce me to so many people that have just poured into me because of relationships. Number 2 thing I want to talk about is organizing your deal details. Guys, fact of the matter is, people love simplicity. You know, if I did a video and had 1,000 notes to take, you probably wouldn't watch it, right? So make sure that every deal that you get under contract, every deal that you get the proper deal details. So we're gonna dive straight into the screen here. So here's a few to-do things when it comes to selling your deals. Number 1 tip that I want to give you guys when it comes to organizing your deal details is take 40 to 50 pictures of the property, whether you have to go and take it or the seller sends you the photos or you have to send somebody out to take the photos. Get 40 to 50 pictures. That is a requirement for our company and when we sell deals, 40 to 50 pictures just makes it super easy. This allows the cash buyer to, quickly see the photos of the condition. It allows them to, look at the condition and give you an offer quicker than versus them going to the property and checking it all out. So make sure you have 40, 50 pictures and make sure that you upload them to a Dropbox or Google Photos folder so you can have them all organized and you can just send out the link of the photo so then a cash buyer can quickly swift through them. And it just makes it super easy. We use Dropbox and all our pictures, we have 40 to 50 pictures. That is a requirement for us. And we send out that link to all the cash buyers when we get a deal. And that is how you really just make it efficient. Number 2 tip is write a text with details. This can be a text or an email. And that text is going to include the property address, property details. So property address, you include, 123 Main Street, Phoenix, Arizona, 85004. Number 2 thing would be property details. And what I mean by property details is that's going to be the, number of beds, number of bathrooms, square footage, lot size. You also want to include occupancy details. Is it rented? Okay, how much is it rented for? Are they on a month to month? Do the owners live in it? When are they moving out? So any details on the property. If you know that the property has a new roof, then you include that in the details. If you know that it needs a full gut or it has foundation issues, any details on the property is going to help the cash buyer make a quicker decision and give you their best offer possible. Also, make sure that you include the COE. And for those that don't know what that means, it means close of escrow. That is the date that you're supposed to close the deal when it comes to buying the house from the seller. Here is the biggest tip for this video, in my opinion. So when you get a property under contract, typically normal, industry normal standard is 30 days close of escrow. So if I get a property under contract today, I have 30 days to close it. However, when it comes to selling a deal, assigning a deal to a cash buyer, you want to do a 10 to 14 day close. And you want to do that to give yourself enough time in case he can't close in the 10 to 14 days or he doesn't for whatever reason. And in the next video, I'm going to be showing you the assignment contract, how to go through it and how to assign your deal. But for this video, make sure that you write that down. 30 days close of escrow for you and the seller, and then 10 to 14 days closing for you and the buyer. So you want to include your asking price on the text or email that you're sending out to cash buyers. And then you also want to let them know the access on the property. If it's vacant, does it have a lockbox on it? Can they get in? If it's occupied, the buyer's probably going to want to walk through. So you schedule that with the seller. Hey, Mr. Seller, I have my partner, my financial partner that wants to walk the property. When is a good time that we can all meet there? That is as simple as that. You just have to tell the seller, hey, my partner, my financial partner wants to walk the property with me this afternoon. When is a good time? What time should we show up? And you go with the buyer and you walk the property so he can check it out. Don't discuss numbers in the property, wait outside, go to a local coffee shop and talk numbers there. And again, in the next video, I'm going to be showing you the assignment contract that you should be using. But guys, this is it for organizing your deal details and moving on to the next one. All right, guys, tip number 3, I want to go over qualifying your buyers. In this game, you want to make sure that you're doing business with real people. So there's a set of questions that I want you guys to ask when cultivating relationships with cash buyers, vetting them, and just finding out whether they are somebody that you want to do business with. So here's the 7 questions that I want you guys to ask them. You guys are not limited to just these questions. Again, don't be robotic, be a people person. But these are the 7 questions that I want you guys to use so you guys can have some framework when having conversations with cash buyers and investors. Question number 1, well, first thing you want to do is get their name, number, and email. You want to get all their details so when you do have a deal, you know how to contact them, you know whether to text them or email them. And that's just common sense, right? You want their contact information. Number 2, what areas, Mr. Cash Buyer, Mr. Alex Saenz, what areas are you buying in? Well, hey guys, for everyone watching this, I'm buying all over Phoenix. So if you have a deal, hit me up. I'll buy it if it's a good deal. But we want to ask the cash buyer, hey, what areas do you buy in? Number 3, Mr. Cash Buyer, what kind of properties are you buying? Are you buying land, infill lots? Are you buying single family homes? Are you buying condos, townhomes? What are you buying? And by them telling you what they're buying, now you know, hey, if I have a certain deal in this area, I'm going to hit this guy up. If I have a condo deal here, I'm going to hit this guy up. So you start building your buyers list. And here's another tip. Do not limit your buyers list to 5 to 10 people. Keep building it. If I started over, I would talk to 5 to 10 different cash buyers a day. day. I would try to have 5 to 10 conversations and add them to my cash buyers list so I can always have them in my contact list. So when I do have a deal, it flies. Question number 4, Mr. Cash Buyer, how many projects are you doing per month? You want to find out if this guy's doing, 10, 20, 100 projects a month. Obviously, if somebody's doing 100 deals a month, they're pretty serious and they're gonna, give you a yes or no answer really quick. People that are doing high volume, they don't mess around. So they're gonna say, hey, how much do you want for it? Here's my offer. So if they just want the deal, you're gonna quickly get an answer from them because they're the real deal. Somebody that does 1 to 2 deals a month may move a little slower. We sell deals to people that do 1 or 2 deals a month, and that's no problem. Typically, when it's a lower volume game, they most of the time they pay a little more because it's more of a hobby, mom and pop shop business, so they just want a good enough deal. So moving on, question number 5, hey Mr. Buyer, what price point are you looking for? And they're gonna tell you, hey, I buy anywhere from 100,000 to 400,000, or if you're in a market like California or DC, higher end markets, hey, I buy anything from $500,000 to 1.2. So now if you have a deal of 150,000, now you know who you can contact and who you cannot contact. Some people just like to do higher end deals, so they might not be interested in your 100, 200K home, but they may be interested in your $500,000 deal. Moving on, question number 6, Mr. Buyer, how fast can you close? Some buyers are gonna say, hey, I can close tomorrow, and some buyers, hey, I at least need 7 to 14 days to close because of my money partners or this and that. Everybody has different processes, but that is a really good question to know how fast you can move a deal. If somebody says, yeah, I can close tomorrow, well, now if you have a certain deal and say a buyer backs out and you need to close it 2 days from there, you can contact that guy, hey, I have a really good deal for you. Can you close tomorrow? Can you close in 2 days? And I've had situations like that where people have come through because of this question and me knowing that they can close in a quicker time. Question number 7, how soon are you looking for your next deal? Mr. Buyer, how soon are you looking for your next deal? Are you looking for a deal by tomorrow, next week, next month? So by asking this question, you're gonna quickly find out, when they're looking to buy. So if somebody is not looking for a deal maybe this month because of whatever reason, now you know that you shouldn't send your deal to them because, they're not looking at the moment to buy right now. So by asking this question, you know how soon they are looking to buy. So as soon as you have a deal, you know who to contact and who to not contact. Number 4 thing I want to talk about, property walkthroughs. When it comes to showing your cash buyers the property, number 1, so if it's a vacant property, make sure you have a lockbox on it. They're $30, $40. When you close the deal, you can pick up your lockbox or leave it there. We normally leave it there for the cash buyer. But if it's a vacant property, make sure that you only give your lockbox combination to qualified cash buyers, people that that you've talked to on the phone. You don't necessarily have to see them in person, but as long as you do know them, feel free to give them the lockbox code if it's a vacant. If it's occupied, say the owner lives in the property, just, schedule a time with the owner. And all you have to say is, hey, Mr. Seller, my financial partner wants to see the property. Is there a time that we can schedule a quick walkthrough? It's going to take 10 to 15 minutes and we're going to be in and out. And once the seller gives you a time frame, you arrange that with the cash buyer and you go and meet the cash buyer at the property so you guys can both walk it. Make sure that during that appointment with the seller and buyer, make sure that you're making small talk with the seller if he's around. Build more rapport, ask him more questions about the property. If you see something on the wall, just have a little small talk and make sure that you're there with the buyer and the seller. If the house happens to be rented, same thing, you organize it with the seller. Hey, Mr. Seller, can we arrange a time with the tenants for us to go and see the property? Me and my partner want to walk it. And the seller is either going to contact the tenants and the tenants are going to play ball. Sometimes, if a seller doesn't want to deal with the tenants, then that's where you would, number 1, I would try to call them. So, hey, Mr. Seller, can I have the tenant's numbers? Once you have the tenant's number, I would try to text or call them, arrange a time. Sometimes we've had to pay, $50, $100 to a tenant so they can, let us in the property because they just hate the owner. But because we play nice guys, the tenant allows us to go in, take pictures, and you can just get really creative. So again, the house is rented, then you would ask the seller, the owner of the property, if you can get in contact with the tenant so you can arrange a time. If the tenants and the sellers are not talking, then go directly to the tenants, offer them $50, $100 to walk the property, meet with your cash buyer. Make sure you take pictures, 40 to 50 pictures, and this is going to help you with property walkthroughs. The 5th thing that I want to talk about is maximizing your sell price. Look, I know I said leave enough meat on the bone, and by no means necessary am I saying, hey, just squeeze all the juice. I'm not saying that, but maximize your sell price. If a buyer wants to make 10% on a deal, and if you have a $200,000 home and you've already factored in all your numbers, and if this buyer buys a property at 140, he's going to make 20 to 25,000 net, right? and you know that you did your numbers right and the buyer verified and he likes the price, you know, sell it for the most possible. Sell it for the most possible where it's still a win-win. Don't juice out everything, but sell it for a high competitive price where most properties are selling for in the area. And that's going to be the way that you should do it. You know, if properties in the area are selling to cash buyers between, you know, 130 and 140, try to get 140 for your property. You know, don't settle for 125 or 130. If you know that multiple buyers are paying, you know, 140,000 for this type of property, we'll sell your deal for 140. That doesn't mean, you know, sell it for 130, sell it for 140, try to maximize your sell price. And here's how you can find the buyers that are going to pay the most. So guys, through Zillow.com, you can search up your address. So wherever the deal is, search it up on Zillow, click on sold listings and say that you know the property's worth 200. Look at any comparables that sold between, you know, 100 to 150. Anything lower than 200, you can click on those listings and then you're going to see what other fix and flips in the area sold for. And through Zillow, on the Zillow listing, you can scroll down to the county assessor, and that's how you can find really quickly the owners of those fix and flips. So for example, if a household's for 230 and I see somebody bought a property for 160, I'm gonna click on the listing. I'm going to go to the county assessor, and now I have a buyer that bought for 160. So now I know that my wholesale deal, this guy's going to pay around 160 for the property. And typically that is how you're going to get the maximum sell price on any deal, because buyers in certain areas just pay a little bit more because they have a few projects, the convenience of it. Their crews don't have to go back and forth across town, and it just makes it very easy. So make sure that you utilize Zillow sold listings. You look at the comparable sold listings in the area, you contact the owners, and again, how you find the owners is just by the county assessor looking up the LLC name, and also that LLC name you can search in what's called open corporates, and it's going to tremendously help you find the owner of a property really quick. Guys, and that is it for day 26 of the 30 days of wholesaling houses. I hope you guys enjoyed those 5 tips. A lot of information. Just make sure you're taking a little bit from every video and start implementing and taking action so you can start making $10, $20, $30, $40,000 a month. It is very possible, and by learning step by step how to do it, you're gonna get very close to it very soon. And guys, I just want to thank you guys once again. Make sure you like, comment down below any questions. Make sure that you check out our All-In podcast. We have over 50 plus episodes that you can check out on your own time. And as usual, guys, thank you. Like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow in day 27. Let's go.